Okay, so getting yourself comfortable on your mat. We'll take our shoulders back and then sit up tall. So although we sat tall, we're not tense. Okay, we're not tense in the back at all. Okay, you're comfortable with your knees up, yeah? The best position for you, yeah. Yeah, and we have to be careful with this here today, yeah. Okay, that's fine. All right. So we'll close our eyes and just settle in to this space. So we're just allowing all the thoughts of the day. Quite often we'll have all sorts of things going on in the mind. The mind's busy, so we'll be thinking about maybe work, maybe about family that we've to look after, maybe about shopping, maybe about things that we've got to do for the rest of the week. This is your time to just move away from all of that, to just forget about that for the time being, to put that aside and just to relax, spending time on you. So allowing the mind to calm. And just noticing as you allow the mind to calm, if there's any tension, any tenderness, any tightness in the body. How does your body feel today? So focusing inwards. Feeling the heart beating within the chest. Perhaps noticing the heart rate. Maybe as your hands touch onto your legs, perhaps you can feel the heart rate within your fingers. And as we relax deeper, observing the breath, observing the quality of the breath. Is the breath slightly hurried? Or is the breath beginning to slow as your body relaxes further and further? So we'll take the right thumb and place it on the outside of the nose, on the right side. And then bring the next two fingers, placing them in between the brow. And the ring finger coming down towards the left side of your nose. So we'll keep that left side of the nose open at the moment, inhaling through the left for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Retaining the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Closing the left nostril, exhaling through the right for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling through the right for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Retaining the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling this time through the left for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So just continue with that alternate nostril breathing or Nada Shodhana breathing in your own time with the count that works for you. So if you find that 5 is a little bit too long, then shorten it. If it's not long enough, then take it that little bit deeper. And then make the next round, the last round, before you take your hand back down onto your knee or into your lap. Okay, so on the next inhale, we'll look upwards towards the ceiling. As we exhale, looking downwards towards the floor. Inhale upwards. Exhale downwards. So just continue with this movement, upwards and downwards, mobilizing the neck. Noticing as you do if there's any tenderness within the neck area. Head comes back towards the center. Inhale, we'll look towards the right side. Exhale across to the left. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the left. So continue with your breath, starting each movement from one side to the other. Coming back towards the center, and then we'll start to circle the head. Providing your neck's not too sore, start to circle the head. If your neck bothers you at all, then we'll just move the head along the front of the chest from one side to the other. And then we'll change the direction of the circles. Coming back towards the center. Okay, so we'll take a hold of one of the balls, placing it in the middle of the chest. Okay, and then we're going to roll the ball. If you've got a hold of it with your right hand, we're going to roll it across towards the left side. Okay, roll it across the front of the chest towards the left, as if you're coming up towards the left shoulder. So from the center up towards the left shoulder. This is one area that we can get quite tender, just above the breast. And if you find an area there that does feel particularly tender, then maybe just hold the ball over the top of it and just roll it in that area. Okay, and then coming back to the center, we'll take a hold of it with the left hand and roll it upwards towards the right shoulder. You might find one side feels totally different to the other side. And then again, if you find an area that feels particularly tight or tense, then just roll there. You'll need your block, so removing any cushion that you might have. And we're going to come into bridge. So just give me 1 second. We're going to work the shoulder area. So around about there. Okay, so we're going to lay with the block underneath the bottom, as if we're coming into bridge with your feet quite close to the bottom and the block supporting your back. Okay, so then once you've got yourself comfortable there, we're going to take the ball and place it underneath the right shoulder, fairly close to the top of the right shoulder, just below where the bony area is, and you should find an area that feels quite tight. So we're talking about here. About here. Have you found it? Yeah, okay. You found it. I want to say about here. Yeah, did you feel that then? You got it?
Yeah.
There, yeah?
About
there. Start to roll over the top of it. Maybe moving your arm around. Yeah, okay. Have you found it, Carolyn? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. D? Does it feel tender? Yeah, okay. So once you're there, start to move your arm around. Maybe start to circle your arm around. Maybe lift your arm upwards. So just moving it around over the top of that ball, so that ball is really massaging into the fascia in that area. So this area just here. And we generally have a lot of tightness. So this is the part of your rotator cuff muscle. It's the supraspinatus muscle that we're trying to just gently ease. And then we'll lower the arm and take the ball over to the opposite side. So taking it under the left shoulder. It's kind of like midway between the back of the neck and the end of the shoulder, I guess, really. So finding that place again on the left side And once you've found it, then maybe just applying some pressure over the top of the ball, and then perhaps starting to move your arm around. So because these myofascial release movements start to get the blood flowing and release toxins, you may well find in a few days' time you get like aches and pains in your body, a bit like fluid pains. That's nothing to be worried about. It's fairly normal. Okay, so releasing the hand, taking the ball away. And then we'll take the block away, bringing the body down onto the floor. The next muscle that we're going to work is the QL, the quadratus lumboris muscle, which is in between the pelvis and the ribs. So it's this big muscle here. Okay, so we'll lay on the floor with the knees up in the air, and then just place that ball. Find the area where you should feel some tension with the knees up in the air, laying over the ball. Have you all found that place? Yeah? Yeah, Kerry? Have you found it? Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, so then once we're there, then just starting to wave the knees from one side to the other. So as you apply some pressure over the top of the ball, it should press into that big muscle on the back body. And then if you want to take it that step further, you could even lift. If you're on the right side, you could even lift the right leg into the air. Maybe start to circle the foot. So you might find some areas feel really tight and tender, others not quite so. Okay, and then lower that leg. We'll take the ball out and go across to the left side. So finding that same muscle on the left side. Knees up in the air, and then you start to sway the knees. And again, you might find one side easier than the other. And then perhaps lifting that left knee into the air, maybe starting to circle that left knee round and just seeing how that feels. Remembering to breathe. Okay, so releasing from there, and then we're going to come onto the right side body. So the ball's going to come kind of like around this fleshy area here. Okay, so just on the edge of the bottom. Okay, we're going to come onto the right side and place your weight on it, maybe coming onto your elbow. Again, once you find it, you should really find it there. Okay, and you could even kind of like roll towards, you feel that, yeah, you could even roll towards your spine across that line there, and you might find it really quite tender. Have you found it, Sam? No. There, yeah. Okay, yeah. So this for me is a really quite a tender area. Yeah. I think we all feel it different in different places, don't we? You know, but yeah. Mm. Okay, so we'll relax on that side, taking the ball over to the left side. You feel that? Bonus. So coming onto the left side, find that same spot. You might find just one place that's really your point, or you might find you feel it more on that side. Yeah. What you were the other side. Yeah. Yeah, yes, yeah. So just rolling over the top. Okay. And then we're just going to bring for the last one, we're going to bring the ball underneath here. Okay. So laying down on your back, and the ball will come kind of like just there. So not under your armpit, just behind your armpit, really. Okay. So laying down on the floor, maybe laying onto that right side. So turning onto the right side. Yeah. And that section there, do you feel that there? Yeah. 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 So again, you might find that there's just one spot, or you might want to just roll over it. That's quite a sickly feeling for me, is that? Yeah. On your arm. Does it come into your shoulder? Yeah, into that. Yeah. But you've got the ball there. Yeah. It's quite a sickly. Yeah. Yeah. So again, maybe just moving your arm around, just to ease it up. Okay, and then we'll go over onto the opposite side. That side is bad. Worse. Yeah. It's amazing how much tightness we have in our bodies, isn't it? No. Yeah, yes. And actually, I've got yeah. Well, we've got the rollers there that I was thinking I'd put under your heads before we finish. So, okay. So when you're ready, we'll come out of that and we'll come into all fours. Caroline's on the back. Okay, so come into all fours and we'll do some work on the hands, on the wrists. So fingers spread nice and wide. And then we're just going to start to make circles with the body over the top of the hands. And change direction. Okay, and then we'll turn the hands out to face the side and start to make circles. So feeling that weight coming over your wrists. And change direction. And then we'll change the hands so that the fingers are pointing towards your knees, maybe bringing your knees slightly further forwards. So then this movement now is just a short or not as deep a movement. And you should feel that all the way up your forearms. And change direction. And then flip the palms so that the actual hands are coming onto the floor, palms coming upwards, okay? And the elbows possibly bent. And just applying pressure on those wrists. Again, if you want, you could circle over the top if that's not too painful. And change direction. And we'll just sit and shake the wrists out. You should feel you've worked those. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll tuck the toes under. So you tuck the toes under. Take the weight back. So ensuring that all 10 toes are all tucked under, and then bring the knees back down onto the mat. So even your little toe is tucked under. Okay. So this is working the plantar fascia, so the fascia in the base of your foot. So we're sitting back onto the heels. Bring the right arm up in the air. Left arm comes behind us. Okay. Taking a hold behind. And then once you're there, maybe taking the head back so we get a stretch through the tricep muscle on the right side. Okay. So this is really good for the whole of the base of the foot and the toes. Oh, all right. And then we'll swap over to the other side. So the left arm lifts, right arm behind us. Okay. So again, stretching that left tricep muscle. And then as we lift, just slapping the toes out. Okay, so fingers spread wide apart again. Just lift up into bear pose. And then we'll take the weight back so the whole body comes over the tops of the legs. And then bring it forwards, okay? As if we're coming into like a shortened plank, and then take it back and forwards. So just a few more of those to work the wrists, to work the shoulders. And then next time, lengthen the legs, keeping your knees bent if that's preferable to you. So we'll come into a downward facing dog. So head is hanging in between your elbows. Feel as though your bottom's lifting upwards towards the sky. You're lengthening through the arms. And as I say, keeping your knees bent if that feels more comfortable. Shoulders rounded, so feel as though you're pressing the middle, the area in the middle of your back upwards towards the sky so that you can round the shoulders, not allowing the back to sag. And then we'll start to pedal out the feet. So slowly from one side to the other, just noticing that stretch down the backs of your legs, the hamstrings, the calf muscles. Maybe feeling it around your Achilles heel area too. And then we'll settle the feet. Walk the hands backwards, coming towards your feet. And then we'll just bend our knees, bringing the arms up in front of us into like a chair pose. Looking upwards towards the sky. And we'll lift up onto the tiptoes. And then settling back down again, coming into a forward fold. So in forward fold, the body, trying to get the body quite close to the legs. So if that means bending the legs, then that's better. That's a better position to be in rather than the head sticking outwards. Okay. And we'll roll slowly, vertebra by vertebra, until we come to a standing position. Take the shoulders back once we get there. Perhaps circling the shoulders a couple of times just to release them. And then bringing them forwards. Okay, so we'll come towards the front of the mat. Feet just slightly apart, arms by the side of the body. Feel as though we're lengthening through the whole of the body, standing tall. Inhale, we'll lift the arms upwards. Exhale, bringing them down through the center, coming into forward fold. Inhale, lift the head into halfway lift. And as we exhale, we'll take both feet back, coming into plank. Area in between the shoulder blades, pushing upwards towards the sky. Take the weight forward slightly so that the elbows come over the hands, and then bring the body down to the floor. Okay, we'll bring the hands forwards, more forwards than the actual mat, and lift up into a version of Cobra, Bhujangasana. Okay, lifting the head upwards, noticing that stretch in the lower abdomen, compression in the back body. And then we'll come back down to the floor, coming back up into downward facing dog. On the next inhale, we'll take the right leg into the air behind us, and then bring that right leg, right foot towards the outside of the right hand. That's it, yeah. So we're coming into a deep lunge, okay? So take the whole of the weight forwards onto that right side. Coming down onto the elbows into lizard pose. So that's a deep stretch in the hips. Okay. Coming back up. And we'll take the right hand, pressing that right leg outwards, maybe even opening the foot, lifting the foot up off the floor. Again, we've got a real deep stretch in that hip. Place the left hand firmly on the mat. We'll open up the right arm up towards the sky. And then bring that right arm back down again. We'll anchor that right knee on top of the right elbow. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and then take it back in the air to where we started off. Okay. Coming back into downward facing dog. So that was one-legged dog. So downward facing dog. You all right? Take the left leg into the air behind us. And then bring that left foot towards the outside of the mat, outside of the left hand. Okay, so we'll come into this deep lunge again on this left side, coming down onto the elbows. Perhaps a block, if you want to use your block. Yeah. No, okay. All right, and then coming back up. So we'll use the left hand on the left knee, maybe opening up the foot. And then bring the right hand so that it's stable on the mat, opening up the left arm upwards towards the ceiling. That left hand comes back down again as an anchor for the left knee to sit on the elbow. Okay. And then take that left leg up into the air, into one-legged dog. Bringing that left foot down as we come back into downward facing dog. And just take a few breaths here. And then we'll look upwards towards the hands, walking the feet forwards towards the front of the mat into halfway lift. Taking the hands onto the knees and feel as though we're lengthening from the head right down to the bottom. So the bottom's pushing backwards towards the wall, head's reaching forwards. And then again, we'll come into that chair pose. So the arms come up ahead, lifting up onto the toes. Bring the feet back. We'll sweep the arms upwards. Okay. Inhale, lifting the arms upwards. Exhale as we come down into forward fold. Inhale, lift the head to halfway lift. Exhale, both feet coming into plank. Okay, shifting the body weight forwards, we'll bring the body down onto the floor. All 10 toes pressing down into the mat, elbows kept close to your body, and as we inhale, lifting into cobra, shoulders low. And then meet back in downward facing dog. Bring both feet together. Right leg goes into the air behind us. And we'll bend the knee so that it comes across towards the left side. And then just start to circle that right foot. And then change directions of the circle. And then we'll bring that right foot towards the front of the mat, towards the hands. Turning the left foot out to the side. Bringing the arms up overhead into warrior two. So just checking that your right knee is over your right ankle, toes peeping out. Body's facing to the left side, arms are up at shoulder height, and you gaze towards your front hand. And then we'll bring the right hand onto the floor on the inside of your right foot, taking the left arm upwards towards the ceiling. And you gaze upwards. And then as we lift, go into reverse warrior. So left hand comes towards the left leg, right arm up above. Turning round, bringing both hands back down to the mat. Right foot comes back into plank. Shift the weight forwards, bringing the body to the floor. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, meeting in downward facing dog. Both feet come together. And we'll take the left leg away behind us. Bending the knees so that the foot comes across to the right side. Starting to circle that left foot. And then change direction. We'll bring that left foot towards the front of the mat, towards the hands. Turning the right foot out to the right side. Bringing the arms up ahead into warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2. So just checking your body's all fully aligned. Front foot aligned with front heel aligned with the back heel. Okay. Left hand comes down onto the floor on the inside of the left foot. Right arm upwards towards the sky. And then as we lift, we come into reverse warrior. Okay. And then both hands come back down to the floor, coming back into your plank. Okay, bringing the knees down to the floor. We'll cross the feet and then just start to bring the body downwards and then push upwards. Okay, so don't allow the body to touch the floor and push upwards. So as if we're doing like a press up, but on the knees as opposed to on. You want to wee? Keep your pelvic floor tight. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Okay, and then come into child's pose. So we'll go into child's pose with the arms lengthened. And then because we've warmed the wrists up so much, we'll place the hands on the floor towards the outside of your mat. Bringing the feet upwards. Okay, so we're on tiptoes. Taking the knees onto the elbows to come into crow pose. Or not, as the case may be. So the knees come onto the elbows. Just the practice of trying, just so that you've got that sensation, that's all. That's enough. Okay. Oh gosh, that was twice of it in the end. Okay, inversion time. So we'll come into an inversion with the legs up the wall. So coming up against the wall, the bottom as close to the wall as you can get it, and then lifting the legs upwards so that we relax here. So giving the body different perspective, blood circulating, Good for varicose veins. Good for calming the body in general. So just noticing your breathing starting to slow. Perhaps now you notice the heart beating faster in the chest. And you're ready? We'll bring the feet down. Coming on to whichever side best suits you to come back to a seated position. Okay. And then once you get there, we're going to come into pigeon. So we're going to do a version of pigeon. So we'll bring the right knee forward first. Right knee's forward, right heel coming towards the left thigh, the left hip flexor. And then we're also going to take the arm through. So instead of coming down onto the front body, we'll wrap the left arm through to come down towards the floor. You'll probably notice a deeper stretch in the... Can you do it? So you should notice a slightly deeper stretch in the glutes on the right side by doing this thread the needle pose as well as the pigeon. And then pressing up with the left hand, we'll come back up to normal pigeon and take the weight forwards so that the body comes over that right knee. Lifting upwards, we'll sit the bottom on the floor and bring that back leg round so that we come into a cross-legged Marichysiana twist. Okay, so inhale and we'll turn to the left side, bringing the left hand behind us on tented fingers and then either wrapping the Right elbow around the knee, or pressing the knee away with the right elbow. So once you're there, take another inhale and turn to look slightly further back behind you. And then we'll turn back towards the centre and we'll come into butterfly pose. So bringing both feet together, taking a hold of the feet, allowing the knees to flutter. So we sat up tall. And then let the knees settle and we'll bring the body weight forwards. And then lift out of there and just take the feet slightly further forwards. And we'll bring the hands underneath the ankle area. And as if we're wrapping them round the feet. And then bring the head down. So this is more of like a tortoise shell. Allowing your back to round. And as we release out of that one, we'll keep this left foot at the front and take the right leg behind us. So we're coming into that pigeon pose but on the opposite side. The left heel is coming towards the right side. And then we'll thread the right arm through, coming into figure of four and pigeon. Coming back up into pigeon. Excuse me. And then we'll take the weight forwards, coming over that left knee, body coming over that left knee. Coming back up into pigeon and sitting the bottom on the floor. And we'll bring that back foot round, coming into the twist. So sit up tall. Take the right hand behind us with tented fingers, wrapping the left elbow around the knee, or pressing the knee away with the elbow. And again, once you're there, sat up tall, inhale, look behind us. Coming back towards the centre, and we'll lengthen both legs, coming into Dandasana. So the feet are pointing upwards towards the ceiling and feel as though your legs are active, as though the muscles are pressing into the floor. Sit up tall. And then we'll inhale, lifting the arms upwards. And as we exhale, we'll reach forwards. So just reach as far forwards as you can and then allow the head to drop. And then we'll take the hands behind us, bringing them behind us with the fingers pointing towards the body, and lift the body upwards, taking the head back. So feel as though you're lifting the chest upwards and the head back. Shoulder blades coming together on the back body. Okay. And then come back towards the centre. Okay, so we're going to come down onto the back now with both tennis balls. We're going to place them, if you think about when you go for a massage, and the massage kind of this area here, okay? So one on either side of the spine, and lay down on your back on the balls. This should be quite a nice sensation, this. And again, you could move the body over the top of the balls, or you could just lay in that one place if you find that that one place feels nice for you. Got it. Have you got it? Good. Mm-hmm. So we're just allowing the body to relax over those balls and for them to massage into the top of the back. Okay. And then take the balls out, and we'll bring the right knee in towards the chest, hugging it in towards your chest. And take that right knee across towards the left side, bringing your right arm out at shoulder height and your gaze to the right side in supine twist. So this is good for the waist, it's good for the spine, and also for the digestive organs. Rolling back towards the center, we'll lengthen that right leg, bringing the left leg in and hugging that in towards your chest. Taking the left knee across towards the right side, bringing the left arm out at shoulder height, gazing towards your left hand. And then we'll roll back towards the center, lengthening the legs and preparing for Shavasana. We're going to take our foam roller and place it underneath the neck. Just turn that light off. So placing it underneath the neck so that your head hangs comfortably over the top of it. So maybe just rolling your head from side to side over the top of that foam roller. So as you roll your head from side to side, you should feel the foam roller just underneath the neck. It shouldn't hurt, you should just feel that gently on the neck. And then perhaps you want to nod the head up and down. And just see how that feels on the neck. And then we're just going to relax down into Shavasana, or final relaxation. So you can either keep the foam roller there if that feels good for you, or you can remove it if that feels better for you. And wherever you find yourself, just allowing the legs to be lengthened, hip width apart, feet falling to either side. Perhaps just shrugging your shoulders so that your arms come by the side of your body, palms facing upwards. And just taking stock now of how the body feels following that class. Is there any tightness, any tension within the body? And if so, take a few deep breaths to release that tension. Allowing your body to fully relax down into the mat. Starting at the crown of the head, the forehead, the brow, the cheeks, noticing the jaw, perhaps opening the mouth slightly so that the jaw's relaxed, the teeth aren't clenched. Where is the tongue within the mouth? Noticing how the head touches the floor and then the curvature of the neck. Feel the shoulders relaxing down into the mat fully. The arms totally at ease, right to the very ends of the fingertips. And then moving down the spine, the curvature of the spine, down towards the bottom. Noticing the bottom sinking into the floor. The backs of the legs, all the way down to the heels. Relaxing the toes, the tops of the feet, the whole of the fronts of the legs and the knees. And then upwards towards the hips, the belly fully relaxed, the internal organs, the heart beating within the chest. Front of the shoulders, every single part of us totally at ease, totally settled, relax, relax, relax. Tuesday affirmation. Today I choose progress over perfection. Unlimited potential lives within me. Every step forward counts. Strength grows through consistency. Determination guides my path. Abundance flows into my life. Yes, I welcome growth today. Starting to move the fingers and the toes as we come back to awareness. Reaching the arms up above the head, taking a stretch all the way through from the tips of the fingers to the very ends of the toes. And relax. Hugging your knees in towards your chest. Rolling from side to side to massage your back. And coming onto the right side into the fetal position. Keeping your eyes closed, come back to a comfortable seated spot. Take your hands as if to pray, and then rub them to create some warmth. Place this warmth on your heart and take a bow. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay.